All right, this week I want to talk about chaos gardening. And why would my very first episode ever be about chaos gardening? Well, I feel like it's a really great analogy for how I take on things and learn things and the lessons that I think we can get from all of it. So definitely stick around. Maybe I'll make more sense as we get to the end of this. Which is usually the case with me. First of all, what is chaos gardening, right? It's spring. I'm out in my garden. What does chaos gardening mean? A lot of people equate it to like where you just throw out wildflowers as seeds and see what happens, right? And just I think that is a great analogy or great like example. But I call my chaos garden a little bit further than that. I'll plant a rose bush. I follow the ADHD, right? I'm at the store and I see some really beautiful flower, or my daughter gives me bulbs, and so it's just see what happens. So right now, when I get out on my patio, it's just so gorgeous. My tulips have come up. I have green growing on my rose bush that I planted last year, and I also have, which is amazing because it's green, but like the trees don't even have green on them yet. Growing, which is these tiny little purple flowers, but I can't wait to sit out there and enjoy it all. But it hasn't always been this way. I've always kind of had a really I haven't embraced the idea of just planting and seeing what grows on my garden, and I have a lot of excuses for that. The first is just I've been very busy in my life and doing other things. Maybe I have been busy watering other things in my life. I had my children, I had my family, other activities kept my time. I'm very bad about remembering to water plants and stick with it. I have indoor plants that almost all of them have been turned over to my husband's care to water because I am just not good at remembering every day to do something like that, or even once a week. Sometimes it's like 3 weeks later, I'm like, oh, this poor plant needs some water. And then also we're renters, and I have this magical vision in my head of a little kind of witchy cottagecore cottage with a picket fence and beautiful vines growing and flowers everywhere. But when you rent, you don't have that long-term expectation of being able to have something that you keep. And that was always an excuse for me. It was stopping me from doing these things. I have changed since then, and now totally embrace the idea that this patio is mine right now. I can plant this rose bush, and I planted this rose bush last spring, and it grew 3 beautiful roses. 3, I think, maybe 4, by the end of the year. And that alone was enough for me. It made me happy. It felt really good. And then this spring, it's 3 times as big. It's just going to have a lot more flowers. So I'm already paying myself off with this, right? With the beauty of it. And the second part of this is I can take it with me when I go. You can dig up a plant and take it with you, or I can leave it for whoever comes here next, and they'll have a beautiful thing, and it can be my gift to them. So somebody who's moved into these rental units that are not always so pretty, right? We don't get a lot of color in these spaces. This eggshell yellow white color everywhere. So either way, I can either take it with me or I can leave it for someone it's benefiting. So my excuses are kind of out the window. Over the years in all of these other rental places, my first mission was always to get the yards ready. Get the yard, I'll eventually maybe I'll do this, but first I'll build a compost heap. I've built a lot of compost areas in places because a lot of these rental yards are like overgrown, and So, trying to cut back what's there, and then you have all of this yard waste. So I got really good at building compost areas and putting fences up, but I didn't really plant the beautiful things. But as I said earlier, I was busy planting other beautiful things and growing my children and my own life. So now I just plant whatever I can. I just figure it out. Like I said, if I'm at the store and I see a rose bush, I will plant it. Or I've always loved the vision of a brick wall with this phlox plant that is over the top of it, and it like falls, cascades over the edge with these pretty pink or purple flowers, tiny purple flowers, and so much greenery. So I bought phlox. I don't have a wall, so I just put it into the ground, and it's beautiful right now. It's this lovely lilac color in my yard, and I see that color, and it just makes me happy. So for the yard I have right now, I haven't put any planning into it. I haven't come up with this is the end goal. It's just been about, what fun thing can I do? What, on a whim, plants am I going to plant? And, maybe you see a packet of wildflower seeds. Grab them, throw them out. Maybe something will happen. My daughter, a few years ago, gave me a paper bag that had, I think, 7 tulip bulbs in it. And she's like, here, these are for you, plant them. And I left them in that paper bag on my back patio for almost 2 months. And you're supposed to plant these bulbs in the fall for the spring. And I know nothing about this stuff. I really don't know anything about it. But it was getting cold. It was fall. It was getting colder and colder. And I thought, I need to, if I need to get these in the ground. If I don't get them in the ground, what's the point of even having them? So I just ran out there on a cold day. I don't think I'm not even sure I used my trowel. No, I used my little shovel, and I put them all under the ground, put some dirt over them. No plan. I didn't say, I'm going to put tulips here, I'm going to have this here, and no plan, just did it. And that gave me my only viral video of all times on social media. The next spring, the tulips popped out of the ground, and they're gorgeous. Tulips and daffodils come at that spring. They like wake you up, and you see that bright color, and it just makes you happy. It just also so happened that it was the solar eclipse, and I just on a whim decided to stop motion video the tulips closing during the darkness of the eclipse and then opening back up. And because I think it's really cool. I think that's neat that they do that. They close at night and open back up for the sun and then close again. But they do that for an eclipse too. So I got out my phone, I stop motion videoed it and shared it. So my 15 minutes of fame comes from the tulips, because 1 million people liked that video, or 1 million people saw it. I think like 500,000 liked it or something like that. Because flowers make you happy. I was FaceTiming my grandson who lives in Hawaii, very far away. But so I'm so glad FaceTime exists. But we were talking about my flowers, and I showed him, and he's 4, and he said, "Oh, Mom, come look." He was so excited about the flowers because they just make us happy. So everything I go out there and plant is for myself. It's like a gift for myself. I'm going to do a little aside here and talk about my 15 minutes of fame from this. I cannot believe how much, now I know what they mean when they say phone blowing up. I was nonstop getting notification, and it almost makes me happy that I'm not some big name on social media. I was inundated with notifications and comments and likes, and having my phone blow up like that was intimidating. And I also was very upset that it wasn't about my book. It was just about my tulips. But I do love my tulips too, so I was good with that. So here are the ideas, right? a chaos garden is about planting the beauty and finding it, finding what's there and beautiful. Because it's really easy for us to see what's wrong. Like when I look at the garden and I see the dirt packs that have no flowers in them, or I see leaves that I have to pick up, or if I see John likes to put he'll put out celery that's gone bad for the animals, or bird seed or whatever, that, if you look at those things, you're going to see the bad. But our backyard is really close to the street. So I used to be really annoyed because I could just see my car there or cars driving by. Having those little bits of beauty and focusing on them, it takes away from all of that. And I'm just happier when I see what I've planted. So little bits of fun and beauty to take your eyes off of or not take your eyes off, but to focus on those things. So for this summer, I plan to plant another rose bush. I plan to get the petunias because they smell good and they're not too expensive. And maybe I'll throw out some wild butterfly flower seeds for bees and butterflies. We've talked about growing food here, and I'm unsure because we are on an old Air Force base, and all of the land, we're right by a airfield, and I'm not sure how good the food would be for us. But at the same time, these forever chemicals or whatever it is, they're already there. So I don't know, maybe we're already breathing them. Who knows? That's something maybe I will do a future deep dive about, is these forever chemicals, so I understand it better. But the chaos garden is really about planting what you can and enjoying the little beauty, all those glimmers, right, that we see, and how growth comes over time and experience comes over time. If I plant one rose bush tonight or this summer, then I'll have 2 rose bushes next year. And every single thing that we do, each little bit helps the garden bloom with more color and beauty. So, whether we're planting seeds or bulbs or starters, even if it's just one little thing, it's some growth. So, do you see why this is an analogy for life, right? Those planting of seeds, of ideas, of learning is the same thing. And so it's kind of how I feel like it really sums up my attitude towards learning. And take in what you can, learn everything that's fun and beautiful to you. And it will just fill you with happiness, fill you with, it will help your own garden grow. So, did you catch that? Did you get what I'm trying to dish out there? My chaos garden is just one of the many projects I have this year. And I'm also going to be focusing on this podcast, of course, my Wise Women's Fantasy Book Club, my Discord community, writing more of Chroma, my fantasy series, and getting serious about the business side of authoring. And I really want to start thinking about what I'm going to be doing with my artsy, craftsy life. What are you planting this year? What are you going to grow? I'd love to hear. I am excited. I love sharing about what I work on and what I'm doing and what I'm learning, but I also love to hear from others. So I hope you all think about this and maybe plant one idea, whether it's an actual flower seed or any of these other magical things that we can do to make our lives fuller and richer and more beautiful. Thanks for joining. I'll talk to you again next time.